So towards the end of your pregnancy, a lot of women don't know that you go at least once a week. And you go once a week just to make sure that the baby is still moving and active and still growing and healthy and snug inside of mama. And so around the time that I was like 37 weeks, I went in for my 1 week visit, and Dr. Haley advised me that my blood pressure was a little bit elevated. And he goes, "Do you know that your blood pressure was high today?" And I was like, "No." He was like, "Everything good?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And so he went and just advised me that in my next appointment, he will be looking keen into that. And so the following week, it was like September 7th, I went back to Cherokee Women's. And when I went, we got my blood pressure. And he goes, "Well, your blood pressure is higher today than it was prior to." And I'm like, "Well, what are we going to do about this?" And so he pretty much just advised me that he thought that it best if I come back in 2 days. And if it was still high in 2 days, they would go ahead and induce me. And at the time, I was like 38 weeks and some change. Immediate thoughts was, you're scared because everyone knows preeclampsia, it can have fatal results, not just for mom, but for baby as well. And immediately, like, you get this feeling where your heart kind of sinks into your chest. But you gotta love Cherokee Women's. When Dr. Z found out that I was on schedule, but I wasn't on schedule to see her, she made it her business to pop by just to say hello. And so she kind of tapped on my door and she goes, "Hey friend, you in here?" I'm like, "I am." And so she just kind of advised me. She goes, "Your blood pressure's high. I think we're gonna go ahead and send you to the doctor today." And I'm like, "Today?" I'm like, "Oh, I thought I had 2 days." And she goes, "Well, I mean, we'll see what works best for Dr. Haley, what he thinks is best for you, because you're seeing him, so I'm going to leave that to him." It was in his best opinion that I just, hold out for 2 more days just to see if this was like a fluke in me. Maybe today was just a little bit more stressful than normal. And so that's what we did. We waited 2 days. September 9th, I remember going back to Cherokee Women's, and I seen Dr. Haley again. And when we got my blood pressure, he's like, "Yeah, this is definitely starting to become a pattern, this high blood pressure. And, we're just going to go ahead and send you to the hospital. Do you have your hospital bag packed?" I'm like, "I've been packed since 20 weeks. I was ready." And so I just was like, trying to make light of the situation because, of course, every mom at that point, you're anxious to meet your baby, but you want to meet your baby for the right reasons. You don't want that to be a situation where you're meeting your baby because of the unknown or something scary. You want it to be at the right timing. As excited as you are, but you want it to be at the right timing. He basically told me, "Do not pass go, do not collect $200, go straight to the hospital." And so I collected my husband and our hospital bags, and I went straight to the hospital. And surprise, surprise, Dr. Z was the one who was there at the hospital and set to induce me, which was very wholesome for me because she started my journey, and I was just like, it would be phenomenal if she could bring out this little butterball for me. And I remember before starting to get induced, she goes, "So how big are we thinking this baby's going to be?" And I'm like, "An 8-pounder. I'm sure of it." And she's like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Not really." She's like, "I think we're going to go with 7 pounds." And so that was her guess. And she ended up being 1 ounce off. She came out 6 pounds, 15 ounces.